Hello. Well, the word of the week is doors. Um, is the third week of the month, which every third week of the month is for cover, or that which is the construct and the appearance and the quality of those elements which causes you, the other, such and such entities of the self. Or it's not just the self, it's just the self, a part of it. Uh, Trying to express for some time so I can express it later better how it operates, the different time, sequence, and ways of seeing a storyline that is based on multiple writers, creators, and characters that are dealt within the world of virtual reality and role play. We've been role playing for a long time, and I am the creator of the patent for the multiverse, so for how it works. So I will try to talk about gates this week. Each week I just put a random word, and I got a board uh, uh, to hold the board, so I can just put it around, and I'm gonna order a glass board so I could just, I don't know, because if this war is gonna keep going on, we're gonna have to role play hardcore, and nobody will wish that to happen. For example, if we made a war online with Russia or with America, I mean, most of our players are Americans, so we'll have to be with Russia. That will be the end of Russia. Even if I teach Russia how to play and the rules, because their people lack experience, tactic, and a self-expression that it has experience already from some generations apart than just this one. So it's not just like the free world, but the world that's coming to destroy you. Because before was Russia destroying Ukraine. Now it's just to destroy you, or whatever you mean with this. It could be also Americans. I mean, it's just the whole concept roleplay really is when you have master players. Um, this month of July, God, was the first week reunion, the second week turning, and this week is doors, and the next week is entrances. By this is that a door is not an entrance. In roleplay, later on, when the people have to pay me, for example, Bill Gates, he has to find out what happened. He didn't get it straight. He didn't get straight up. Somebody must have got my parchment and fuck around with it, changing its name. Or he better tell that part of the story. Because in roleplay, you have to tell your story. Otherwise, Others will tell it for you. And that's what happens normally. Let's just imagine the day Gates would die. Everyone would be applauding unless he comes out as a hero. Explaining what is what. But you need some character traits to get there. It's not all gods in the way you're used to. Just imagine. Imagine that you have to think in ways with people and everything that has not worked in order to defend yourself against what? Against your own doings? That's something you have to focus on how to deal with this story. Not just for me, but for the rest of history. Because people can change websites, but the evidence, it could run from China, it could run from Russia. Everything could flip. So I need everyone to work together, and it just could shut off to anyone. But once it's already ready, you will know that you have your story to tell for future generations. Well, you didn't do anything really out of your own. For example, entrances. That is the next week. So, for example, in script writing, you have a scene, as in theater, and a book. There is a chapter. And when you're entering to another scene, it changes all. So you have a moment of, if no one is watching at the door, or the person that's doing the addition and has to do the sequence. So all this is about putting yourself together and coming to me and tell me, how are you? What happened? You need a very good story for me. So we have to define reality, misperceived reality. What's going on? Nothing is working as planned because you're just doing video games. You're passing the boys, people are talking about it. All these programmers that think to know better than others. So helping the world could happen with a click, and everyone can visualize it and see, for example, so many things going on in the world that I want to talk about as well. Eventually, I should extend into mansions into villages, but I'm not there yet. So, for virtual reality, I had sprayed it, so let's do that. I sprayed with a varnish spray there, lac. It's cool. So it's there forever. That's part of the evidence. Right there. I could buy some construction cameras. I mean, lights for constructors because it's cheaper than cinema. They charge more for people that do photography or cinema. So people are afraid of what others say. They're so afraid and convenient. Probably 98% go to prostitutes or turn them into prostitutes. I mean, do they really do what they want to, or is the only thing they can do if they want to be there? So that's the way you turn out to be on your feminine side, artistic side. So who wants to play with the bitch? We must be a little more elegant and constructive when people give you a job to do. I cannot convey a message that's been already said for 1 year and a half, 2 years, consecutively, 2 years and 8 months, 2 years and 7 months. Decades. So even though we have borders between countries, each country has its own psychology and way of understanding its own situation politically as the people that are there. So, Putin, you are going to stop this war and retrieve. And just like back off so we can start. And you don't have to believe in me, but you won't want to believe in the outcome of what I'm capable of. That I've been very nice. Well, so people can see that both ends have to end American way as well. We cannot live in a country where suddenly we're being ruled by pedophiles who want to change children's sex, that want to bully the rest of the world and think they are the best. Because that is not true. There are many people that go to America and many people that are going to other parts of the world because they don't like what's going on there. So I will start talking about the world and some ideas. I'm not going to share the patent until I get my percentage and I am paid. But for that, I could never say what I'm going to do. It's so sad that some people don't want to get it. So, copying another person and thieving because, oh, no, you're gonna fight. But you're not fighting for me, aren't you? All right. So, I am writing with a character that's going through the heavens and hells as a storyline. And I'm right now here in this cross. So, that will be like the last terrace of the purgatory. Right there. There. So this would be the heavenly earth, which is not the heavenly heaven in the stories of Dante Alighieri or wherever they come from, really. From Egypt, from Atlantis, who cares? For storytelling, we have later on the planets, which signify levels of consciousness and enlightenment in India and China, for example. So there, up after all this, is what you would find it's cosmic heaven, or I forgot right now. All right. So when I get there, I learn the word. So, wow. right? Door, up above in the synonymous of freethressers.com. You can find the synonymous. For door, up above is opening. Doesn't mean it's opening, but it works to open or close the door. The synonymous for opening is opening, entry, entrance, exit, doorway, ingress, egress. Below to the left is throw out on, show out, ask to leave, put out, drive out, oust, bounce, show someone the door. And on the right side, the synonymous is out of doors, in the open air, outside, outdoors, out of the house, al fresco. Fresco. So, what are you going to do by? Because this is not only through history and the nature of the movement of things, but Putin, you have shown a path where you're going directly down into hell. And this is something that you can help yourself. You can't help yourself. Nor can United States of America, because you both gotta end. Especially the administrations that keep banging and banging and banging about, let's not talk about what they do in the secret, all right? So the thing is that nice people that are polite and respectful will never tell you these things. And these stories are not necessarily when you have intelligent people working in a universal concept. So, numero uno problema. We cannot have a metaverse or an omnipotent power, because whatever it goes on, there won't be any other side that could contrarrest and protect their territories, their children, especially. The woman, that's, let me take another, I don't know, depends what woman you're talking about. But what matters now is to stop this war. There is no deal for peace, but there can be other forms of deal. And these forms of their deals should come from our own intelligence. If I tell you how to make this deal, with my imagination is unlimited. Like I gotta like God, if I just put it on their mouth so they say it, it's gonna be like it's not just it's not under the rules of role play. You have to make your own story. So you go there, you see this door, and what are you going to do to deal with nature? The rest of the world doesn't want problems, really. Like they got their problems already. They don't want problems from America also. Yeah, because that's another story. And China has made their own unions with the Arabs, Africans, South America. And America is kind of like, okay, we are now friends with China, Putin, and Russia. Because if we have all the world to see all the problems that people are noting there. And then there's another war now with more problems with the threat of this faggot of Facebook who is, I don't know who is doing who, but I don't know, something is wrong there. Once again, this is the problem with your kind. So I am in a war with all of you. It's kind of like, just get out of here, come back in another life, not even this one. It's not, you're not following your own scripts, you're following traumas. You want to be something you'll never be. It's not going to work like this. Besides, I have to talk in a decent way, so you will excuse me as to say that I want to talk about the rules of role playing to virtual reality, and I want to give part of the other half of the formula. Here I had if to patent it in Hassan or China, USA. That was a question because I wanted, so it's international and people don't think America has the power over it, which is the main foundation that every country of the world has its part. Cannot be that suddenly a piece of a world thinks to have ownership over the world. That's any tyranny and kind of like, because this is a delusion of the testosterone and is prone to have psychosis. The testosterone, overpowering, power issues, daddy issues, and some even have issues that never had a daddy. Is to say that it was absent, maybe even at home, absent. Even while it was at home, there was no father. Forget about calling daddy. So who knows how to be a man here? Who can father? Do you think that death is irrelevant? As even if there are characters that exist in fictional stories, okay, I can play them very well in first person. Some people think it's real. Because I'm a very good interpreter. People doubt. People doubt. Sometimes people believe in things that I have said that if they reason, and I have to tell them stories makes no sense. Like, yeah, machines are not autonomous. Don't worry. Because people believe, because people are used to be on internet, they're used to just follow, do what they're told. That's it. You just look at the news, look at the screen in the computer, look at it, look it out, and that's their whole life. What matters to me is that from here to here, there could be an eternity. Are we going to do this work in 20 years, in 15 years, in 3 years? And if I send you right down to hell, I will be like, woo, fantasy. But passing through this terrace, which is a terrace of lust, and this part is paying our sins, our debts, with awareness in the purgatory. Down below is paying them unconsciously by desires, ego trips. Let's go down, baby. So it reflects every terrace, it reflects its consciousness, unconsciousness, even if it's happening, but willingly is allowing it to see. In the last three terraces, which are those who work for the heavenly earth, they can see the three terraces below of the unconsciousness within themselves and others, because supposedly they're working on themselves. Supposedly they want to, because they want to reach the heaven. They have at least a string of, yeah, that's putting them up there. That string could be with a rainbow. We have to delete all this rainbow meaning like right now, because that the rainbow doesn't mean anything but universal love. People can do whatever they want. That's for mature conscious people that have the rightfulness to choose because they are aware of it. In here are the children. Children are not aware, are learning. So some people believe these beliefs that make them feel special, that bind them to have stronger secret trusts. They can trust, is everything trust the other. And they do pathetic, cruel things just to think they are the cream of the earth, but they never met the cherry. Look! So, lost and lust is the same connotation. You can have lust with love because we need that desire to burn our eternal flame. Put it in poetic context of saying, I'm inspired all the time. And here below, supposedly, in an imaginary million stories, these stories have their own maps and forms, because they say this is a planet Earth and that's the way we see. Is supposed to be the devil, or however you want to call it, eating from everyone's desires. Some of these roles are played by hierarchies. And when evil, it is said, when evil, because this evil is a reflection of both sides, Russian America, this especially all these guys, like, come on, bring some sexy, nice guys that can talk without needing a scriptwriter. This evil here was raped also and doesn't remember. All it needs is to have some playfulness and not be repressed, and only through the light of the world, not of its hell, of secrets and hidden. It can resurrect. Some say that there are levels of archangels towards God, so there are also levels, because for me, angels in fantasy role play, they are manipulators. I don't belong to like angels. Angels, they are all right next to God, whatever. God is not here, all right? God is up, up. So we talking about it would be like too pretentious. So the last unconscious lasso is like, I'm gonna write a story that where I am going to depict what's going on in here and what's going on down at the same time, because this character can see as above as below. There is nothing wrong with lust and desire as to define your realities. We must pursue any character without any fear, trusting that we are made out of the hands of the Creator. So, as long as you are present as a witness, no one can take over you. Over your creation, even though in a material context we have to safeguard and work very hard, work many generations, not just for the knowledge and studies or whatever is passed over. Even through monks, they have monastery where they can protect themselves. Some hunt, some cult, and still all these movements can run with the flexibility of a map that is like, it could be abstract. This is a form of depicting it. Uh, this is constantly happening with ourselves. So in the settings, we know if we're having a confrontation, war, sex, because each character is defined. If you want to play with these characters, because some characters are needed as well because they don't want to do these things, but they're part of the story. So I say, don't worry, you do not have to confront or be in the front lane. What you're doing is already being as a warrior. Yeah, it's being a lady there, just writing letters, or because some people don't know how to do confrontations and even laugh about it to get there. So of course, conquer all the things like kind of like these are if psychologically you don't know how to do it, right? You don't know how to do it, so you have to destroy. Just for a president of United States of America to lose its presidency, that just to think that Democrats cannot go in power again is already like losing the war. Losing the war because investing more money on that. Wow. And just because of all the people that are going to go out to vote, put the war apart. They're going to vote because they don't want their children to have problems in school without their awareness and protection until they grow up to make their own decisions. We are not developed. We have universal love as children. We don't know who is who we are, where we're going to become. We love everyone as a child. Of course, depends where you were raised. I mean, you were raised chasing rats or things like that, it affects your psychic and the people as you are. You want to live a little bit, you want to be alive a little bit longer, and you want to tell the importance of the multiverse. What is a multiverse? What is a metaverse? What are the parts of this world? What is meta consciousness? You might have parts of yourself in your brain that carry certain information, and you might have memory that is stored in your body as well. And they can release stress that's been retained for so long. So you need a good team of people to think about what are you going to get if you give this piece of land away. To some extent, to destroy the past of all these wars. So it's Russians are going to lose if I bring an attack of role players that no government knows how to do. I mean, they will be the last people on this earth that have any charisma as to role play, including the CIA and M16. Like, what was this person entering in my house? You think I'm stupid? Bad actors, very bad. No, they don't have self experience. They don't have it. They don't have 19 years of role play. 21, 18. They don't even have 1 year of role playing non-stop through all the verses. And that is the destiny of all and each of the characters and the parts that you can have fun with by understanding humanity itself in its own shoes. But everyone is stuck in their own character of real life. It's very easy to judge. So I will make it a little bit better for those who might want to, at some point, no, I don't see it now, to talk about role playing in a fantasy world. I think Lex Freeman and Jordan Peterson are the best so far. I think Elon Musk has too much work to do and he is too rich to handle more pressure. And has Bill Gates is a person that I would like to learn about credit, to give credit. But for that, I would like to elongate the Gates Foundation because it's not reaching out like this. You can't reach it out like that. You need everyone to click on it. United Nations. I don't know. Sometimes if you look at nature pass by, let the world take care of itself. Let the grass grow by itself. That was China undercover, Russia 2021. Well, so here are the what you would consider agents, scientists, wizards. Because scientists are like wizards as well, shamans. That intuition that is, it has that notion, but the evidence is never seen until it's done. This belong to, well, you put Europe, London. I put New York City because I like the stage there, or the way United Nations is there. And apart, is Olympus, but in the characters. So China is already kind of like, okay, let's hold on, but they're like, yeah, proving they have power in behalf of others. So I personally think China has a lot of doors to open when it comes to the scriptures of the Buddhists. That hopefully they have not burned like in Alexandria. So you think of places to go, and it doesn't mean those doors are open. I'm thinking of the firewall they have in China and their own internet and their own language. So roleplay is about exploration and adventure. So before going to the door, you have developed an approach to the interaction. Yeah. One of my main characters will always ask, "What is your entrance and what is your exit?" Yeah. Before interacting, as part of the interaction. So you can only enter by responding to this. Because I was teaching how to roleplay. Yeah. People just come there and start chatting. Like, no, this is not a chat, okay? I'm a director of roleplay of many groups. Now, it's a disaster because of mediating this. And if you want to enter into the science fiction, you have to stop this war as well. You got to be alive to see it. Because in 20 years, you're going to be so old. You're going to be deaf. You'll maybe have Alzheimer. You cannot even remember what's going on. Yeah? So you want this war to last 20 years, 15 years? It's such a little land, but there are so many more places to war, as in the Pole North and all the places you have taken illegally. Illegally, as the people that took over in Venezuela, all illegal. It's all sorts of illegal because people are driving by desire from being oppressed. Yeah. So when you look at your inner self and you think you're the hand of God, I also have that when I enter in certain characters, and it's so much fun. It's so much fun. It's so much fun to have the supernatural, like, wow, you have so much power to do all this and then, but still, nothing is fulfilling because gotta keep on and keep on and keep on and keep on until what? Because you have to win, and the pain is so hard because you have to win. One sec. So I was writing all this, the war when it started. Every day I will write on all the news from around the world. I have seen the positions of the people from around the world. I have been as many people watching, and thankfully it's out of our news so we can enjoy our lives, because this shouldn't be the center of attention because we have a bully. I know many of these people by experience. They are like the Russians and Russians, and they have not seen the chance as people who are always doing what others say to get there in power. Yeah, and then when they get there, they have to be told what to do as well. As we're moving into green energy, and we are going to submerge into subconsciousness. Right here. Yeah. So we're going to be aware. So before animals came on this planet, or the bacteria started to form groups in the acids waters, start to get together and suddenly form some sort of things under those acid waters that started to be less acidic after hundreds of millions of years. They are frozen in the Pole North. Is that going to be good for us? We have ancestral information of all these organisms and bacteria right here in an animalistic way for some people. Yeah. Animalistic beasts, creatures. So the subconscious here in the back of our brain, like the very back, controls the body by itself, and there is more information there than in the rest of the brain and the body. If you know how to manipulate subconsciousness, let's see. If you can manipulate subconsciousness by what? The subconsciousness of the American people, the people in China that are being watching all this, and they're watching to the sites, and they want peace and commerce, but they still think about it. What happens is that people like me, we're going to role play whatever happens. We're going to keep role playing. Even if I teach people how to role play without giving the patterns of how it's going to work, the formula, the full formula, how is it going to work for each universe, because each universe has characters that are unique. And there's the only way that the story can roll, because there will always come people that want to copy your characters, copy your groups, your kingdoms, and create chaos within the groups that you have established. And breaking again the line, many people live from storytelling And some keep creating and creating and creating and just forgiving in order to keep playing. There are only a few left, but I have discovered one part to unite them all. That's how they made the metaverse. The metaverse is not for the I mean, that's not for one person. That's Mark is gonna say, or Bill Gates is gonna say, it's mine, I win. No, no, just kill that bastard, really. Well, how dare you do that? Like, did I tell you to do that? I didn't send you my work, Bill Gates, to do that. Whoever got you my parcel, get that person in jail. Unless you want to go to jail, somebody has to pay. That's what I say in many stories. So you fulfill the gods, you have to sacrifice someone. Someone has to die, so there is peace. Someone has to get down so the rage goes away from everyone. Like, oh, oh. Well, maybe Joe Biden dies because he's very old, and then it's just like, oh, okay, new story, woo! A new world, yeah. And then the war will continue because NATO has made their deal. And the thing with democracy, even though it's still not working, but it's working better than in places where freedom of expression is even more corrupted. There is, no sense of intuition, sensibility, and arts to. So, you think it's funny that other people die for you? That other people, because the same can happen to people that think in that way in any part of the world. Because these beliefs, and they make money with these beliefs, and they share these monies and values with these beliefs. So where are you going to think as an individual? Just cut away from all and everyone and think as an individual, because that's where your own wisdom, that's supposed to be major part which intelligence can reach, and not even wisdom, the overall picture for a story that is going to free you from your own creation, whatever that creation you have borrowed for whatever reason, to hide another reason. So people are watching, but when they have the chance, they're going to do it. They're going to do it. Unfortunately, I wouldn't like to see America as a winner, because Europe, this is what the Spanish news are constantly saying. The But they play their roles. Like, one is the good cop, the other one is the bad cop. They just go along like, yeah. Ah. But putting so much money in military and energy in people's life, when we can synchronize a map which is not owned by Americans. So who knows? Maybe you have to go to China and make this as a platform without counting with Americans or Europeans, and just do virtual reality there. Give it there where they can pay me. Because the people that I have to know who is on my side. I'm. This is not my war. But my formula cannot work until there is peace. Because we will be like, I will have to been already role playing for 18 years. I don't want to role play again before, which I could. I just want to role play in other ways that can also help in real life for many people. So being more of a real life person, not just a character that is my outside persona. So with this, before entering or getting out of that door that we can have in order to launch in a new scene that act of benevolence, or not. So I don't understand why other people has to suffer because of others. I've heard so many times that victims deserve it because it's their karmic thing. Victims were there, they deserve it because they didn't have the education, because they are in the part of the earth, they deserve it. Oh, because they're children of those people and they couldn't do that. And yeah, even rich people among themselves, oh, well, they deserve it. It's playing victim. There are people that don't need to be victims, really, in the concept of paradise. Hmm? So I can see how intelligent can be a person with just 1 year of remembering what is paradise. 1 year only of memory. You will never forget that exists. So why don't you talk about it? Why don't you talk about virtual reality and the inner wars that are happening? Why nobody is talking about it? Why are you doing the old ways? The old ways are legitimate. You think I want you to be on your knees, so you surrender? On the contrary, you would win. You would win 20 years, 15 years, whatever this is going to take in advance. So we can all advance. And watch how these pedophiles die. They're never going to be, because we're going to be role playing. They're everywhere. Incredible. I can understand that people fall into the behaviors of what's done to you. Putin killing a lot of people, doing genocides. And in the same way, all this, we could be providing consciousness so people don't have too many children that they cannot take care of. Because Elon Musk says, yeah, I have children. He should be more discreet or honest and say, white people of America and Europe, have more children because we have too many immigrants, and we're not gonna be able to take care of our future because they're gonna take over us. We're gonna be too little, and they're gonna be all against us. That's what's going to happen. Besides all this humanitarian bullshit, but I will explain later. I will explain later. The point is that Africans, South Americans, India, China, they have children they can take care of. If they don't know how to do tantra in India, how can they learn tantra anywhere? Like, teach tantra to all the world. Yeah, people can learn. These things are healthy. It's not against any religion. So there are strategic ways to put everyone out of Ukraine around and create a commerce, create not Ukraine, but these places that are being bombed. So you want to destroy all the houses? Go destroy each other. Just consume all the money there. Just put all your energy there. You want to be that stupid, but at least take all that people out and make factories there so they can work and sell this. Just don't pay attention to these drama wars. They're like whores doing whatever for money and power. So these power trips are not good for anyone in that way. If you want to go, come with me, virtual reality. I have a lot of power trips there. Well, so there is a inferno. In the inferno, the last hell, is the devil feeding from everyone, from people's sins. Some say that the devil is a woman and a man, or a transgender, or it has find its both polarities. It's going to bring light. Well, there are millions and millions of stories, and we can relate through the same stories or other stories. There are millions of stories more we can create in science fiction and faster and stronger. But I have always said, like, can I just kill them? I can go enter and out just like that. And they told me, no, you have to mediate. You have to learn how to talk. So this doesn't happen again and again, because then there will be other people that will keep want to do the same because you kill them. So I have to deal with my rage as well. And here I am in closed doors, talking to the self. With some technology, maybe it could be better and easier, so we can comprehend how it's played and have fun. You should play your demons. Don't pray to God to protect you from your own demons. They are your demons, the ones you suppress. They are your stories that you're not aware of. No one is taking over your soul. People talk about the devil because it's easier to put the guilt there, especially because everyone has evolved. So if someone is taking too many drugs to not feel, or if you cannot sleep because there is an unrest, talk to me. So it's gonna be huge, the glass. And I might have all the background black, or just in October give it to my daughter so she does her things there. Yeah, I thought just black or white. This could be blue or yellow. Mm, Just tired thinking alone. There must be a way for people to convey and create more values. Values that are sometimes hurting when you lose these values. There might be in a memory so far away, but you know they existed somewhere. Maybe you could see something you've never seen before in your lifetime. That miracles do exist because we're capable of being creators. From the distance, some of us, from the distance, but it has happened. So well, I'm still waiting for the mathematician to put the numbers of the piece of cake for the countries and the cream and the cherry. I'm the cherry, right? The cream are the tech titans from around the world. Just a few where you have these main tools to do this, and that. So it's more synthetic for the work to make a better world. People can create more material and go faster to outer space, get to see parts of the world. So I'm gonna paint in when I get that glass board, the Sahara, and how can we build help with mansions into villages? How just talk within these doors, any other place. How can we bring credit where it can flow so people can create their mansion into a village, stop immigration in the north of Africa, and help go be down to the Sahara, try to make their weather that is not so heated, because that's what kind that's uh, and there and another place in the world are the hottest places on earth. So if there are so many people that know how to do management and supervising, they can have the credit to manage in a third world country in their holiday with credit given a mansion into a village and keep connection with them. So, well, I have so many ideas, but I'm not gonna give the one virtual reality away. Until the percentage is made for the main tech giants. So Mark Zuckerberg is not a tech giant, he's a sucker. But in my country, we call that differently. So I will keep it that in my country, Venezuela. I'm also Spanish, so I will just keep it that for the Spanish people as well. You want to be able to take consciousness and awareness of whom you are and whom you were. doesn't give you any right to do what you're doing. So I've seen many people that I've put in certain places. They never, ever, they would never change. And sometimes the archangel character has to come down to hell, and even the demons and evildoers will help in the army of archangel to destroy that evil, because it's not even good for hell. It's not even good for hell. That's the same story that happened with Zeus and Cronus and so much. So on and on and on. Same story. Same old story. Let's hope to make better stories that bring us to higher states of consciousness with different names, different words, different maps. Watching the tablet of elements, because there is more there to it for characters. With the tablet of elements, fictional characters, of course, which are more. For real life, it's good to be simple. So please don't bring more problems. I'm giving something that is greater than you are. Remember that. All of you is greater than you are. I'm giving that. So everyone has their piece as well. But without one piece that started it, how can the other pieces get their own conclusion? No, I want it all for me. I want it all for me. How I'm gonna make some people. So the point is that the people have to go in a conquering mentality of hatred and competition because the other one and this. That's all style. We can move faster and stronger and let other organisms copy if they may. As they learn, they can do other universes. I'm talking in the world fantasy. Us in this moment, where are you going to be? When the doors are closed, where are you going to be? What are you going to be doing? You're going to come out and have the same nightmare. Doesn't matter what you do. It's going to happen again and again and again. Because you're doing the same pattern again and again and again. That's the pattern that got you there. So everybody thinks it's correct to do that. Oh, I should create character and dress in an intimated way where I inspire fear and respect. So just to report a little bit how plays are moved, and you're going to watch people fall, and that's how it rolls, right? Peace, and watch out, because I'm looking at you.